Hello, my name is Ralf Pirzl. I have been involved in business and politics for many years, and today I want to challenge a belief that many people still hold. Was Brexit a disaster for Europe, or was it in fact the best thing that could have happened to the European Union, and not for the reasons you think? If this kind of content is of interest to you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let me take you back to June 23rd, 2016, the day of the Brexit referendum, when 52% of British voters chose to leave the European Union. I remember that moment very clearly. And to be honest, I felt a sense of betrayal, almost like a relationship breaking apart, because the United Kingdom was not just another member. It was one of the key architects of the European Union, a country that played a major role in shaping how the EU functions today. And more importantly, it was a country that had one of the most favorable deals inside the EU. The UK was not part of the Schengen area. It did not adopt the euro. It had a rebate on its EU contributions and many other advantages, privileges that no other member state fully enjoyed. So the question was obvious. Why would a country with so many benefits decide to leave? At that time I was worried, very worried, because it felt like the beginning of something much bigger, a domino effect, a scenario where other countries might follow, and where the European Union itself could begin to fall apart. This fear was not irrational. Across Europe there were growing political movements, parties questioning the EU, some even openly advocating leaving it, and for many citizens, the European Union was not fully understood. It felt distant, bureaucratic, disconnected from daily life. But then Brexit happened, and everything changed, because suddenly the idea of leaving the EU was no longer theoretical. It became real, concrete, visible. People could see the consequences, not in speeches, but in reality. Years of negotiations, economic uncertainty, trade complications, political instability, and a long, complex transition process. And this had a profound impact, because it removed the illusion. It showed that leaving the European Union is not simple, not painless, and certainly not without consequences. And this is where the real shift began. Across Europe, those voices calling for exit became quieter, more cautious. In many cases, they disappeared, because Brexit became a real-world example, a test case, and the conclusion was clear. If one of the strongest economies in Europe struggles outside the EU, what would happen to smaller countries? This realization did not weaken Europe, it strengthened it, and that is the first key point. Brexit unified the European Union, but it also did something even more important. It forced the EU to evolve, because pressure creates change. Before Brexit, the EU often struggled with internal coherence, different policies, different priorities, different speeds of integration, but Brexit created a moment of clarity, a moment where the EU had to act together, and it did. During the negotiations, the European Union presented a united front. It showed discipline, coordination, and strategic consistency, and that sent a powerful message, not just to the UK, but to the entire world. The EU is stronger together, not weaker. Now let's talk about another important consequence, internal reform, because Brexit forced Europe to look inward, to identify its weaknesses, to improve integration, to reduce inefficiencies, because the truth is, even today, there are still barriers within Europe, regulatory differences, administrative complexity, fragmentation, and in some cases, these internal barriers create more friction than external ones. Brexit accelerated the need to fix this, to simplify, to integrate, to strengthen the internal market. And this is a long-term advantage, but there is one more critical point. Credibility. The European Union faced a difficult decision. Should it allow the UK to leave but still enjoy the same benefits, or should it defend its structure? It chose to defend itself, and that decision was crucial because it sent a clear message. You cannot leave the system and keep all its advantages. Rights come with responsibilities, and membership has value. This was not about punishment. It was about consistency and protecting the integrity of the Union. So what are we really seeing? Was Brexit simply a mistake, or was it a turning point? A moment that forced Europe to become stronger, more united, more aware of its own value? Because sometimes it takes a shock to create progress, and Brexit may have been exactly that, a shock that Europe needed. But there is also a human side to this story, because beyond politics, beyond economics, there are people, and many European citizens still feel something is missing. The United Kingdom was not just a member state, it was part of Europe's identity, its culture, its balance. And many Europeans still miss the UK as part of the Union, and I believe something else as well, that many British citizens today also feel the absence, not necessarily in the same way, but in a very real way, because being part of something larger has value, and that value is often only fully understood once it is gone. If this kind of content is of interest to you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, was Brexit a mistake or a necessary wake-up call for Europe?